You really want to do it, it's too colorful, you know. It's not hardcore fitting. And we were
Yeah.
like, yeah, maybe it's true, but we don't care. We will do it because we like this look, and we will just do it, and we don't care. And to be honest, at least in the underground hardcore scene, people reacted really cool to it.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
So we've got Fabio and Simon here of Slope. Guys, thank you so much. We are, as we're talking, barely days away from the release of the new album. So first things first, how are you guys doing? Are you stressed out or are you chill? I know that an album comes out 500 years after you recorded it. So what's the mindset right now, this beautiful Thursday evening?
Pretty stressed out. Pretty stressed out, but like in a most of the time good way. We have so much to do, like the tour coming up, and we're doing all the merch stuff from our own shop, like packing it and reuse the stuff and shit. And also we have, like, everybody of us has a normal job, so we're pretty stressed out, but it's good. It's okay. It's good.
Simon, you seem very chilled. Do you agree with that, or is underneath that calm facade?
Yeah,
there's a fire raging.
It's just my chilled face. Yeah, it was a hard day. A lot of working to do the last weeks for sure. But I guess it's pretty normal when you are releasing a new album that you have a lot of things to do. I guess a lot of people don't know that it's not just writing the music, but if you are in the creative process involved, and we do all the stuff by ourselves, then it's very much more. It's much more than writing the music, I would say sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're pretty happy with the outcome and stoked to release it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's a good thing that there's so many people demanding so much time from you right now. That would be much better than nobody wants to talk to you.
Exactly. That's it.
Exactly. So let's dive into. I want to obviously talk about the tour as well that's coming up. You've got some exciting shows in Germany and Netherlands scheduled very quickly, and there's gonna be a busy year for you guys. So we'll talk about that. But let's dive into the album first. And I just wanted to check something, because maybe I'm just seeing ghosts, and maybe it's just what I like that I project on something else. When the album, I had a chance to listen to the full album already, obviously, and we kick off the album with a song called "Talk Big." Now, for the first 30 seconds, is it just me, or are some people in the band very much influenced by, soundtrack music and specifically spaghetti westerns? Because when I heard that song for the first time, I thought this could be like, an Ennio Morricone soundtrack for the first 30 seconds before obviously everything changes and the party starts. Is there any truth to that, or am I just seeing ghosts?
So I cannot answer the question because it was our drummer doing the tones or the beginning. Maybe he would say yes, but I cannot give you an answer, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. All right, but so obviously, after 30 seconds, we get the very funky hardcore that we expect from Slope. And so, and not just with the first song, but I think that really with It's Sticking, the second song, it kind of shows a broad range of a bunch of influences that we hear. And so I want to ask you guys a question, because first of all, I think those first two songs are a great 1-2 punch. I think they will do live really well on shows. But then, whenever people talk about Slope, and I think it makes sense, people will go like, oh yeah, kind of feels like Urban Dance Squad and Doggy Dog and Rage Against the Machine and all that kind of good Sublime, Living Colour, Suicidal Tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you a question. You guys do something different. We don't hear a lot of new bands bring the sound that you do. Does it then bug you that people in the industry like myself just go like, oh yeah, like that band, like that band, like that band, or just like, hey, we're just Slope, let us be ourselves?
Go first, Simon.
Yeah, I don't feel upset because it is pretty normal for people to try to get the music in some way. And of course, the first way is to just compare it to music which sounds in some way the same. And of course, some of these bands are also our influences. Not all of them. Sometimes I'm like, "What? I never heard of this band." But okay, cool. So, and we started to listen to the band, and it was pretty nice to listen.
Okay,
to.
and Simon, before I let you go, now you have to tell us now an example of a band that people compare you with.
Yeah, first one which I discovered was Urban Dance Squad. I never heard of them before, and it was also 311 or 311. I don't know how to say it, but I never heard of them. But they're pretty big in America, I guess. And that's two examples where I thought, okay, nice that you saying that, but we never heard of them.
Yeah.
But I guess unless people are like saying some dumb shit about it, I'm totally cool with it. But yeah, if people try to say it's just a copy of, I don't know, 24/7 Spies, it's just a copy of Red Hot Chili Peppers, then I would say I feel a little bit upset by it, but I know that it's not true. So therefore, but still, it's I don't like it to hear it.
Yeah. Fabio, had you heard of Urban Dance Squad, or were they also new to you?
No, I didn't hear of them before, but that's the same. Like Simon said, check it out. When you discover new music, me myself, even I compare it in my head, like it sounds like that band, or that. So I think it's a normal thing. So no worries.
All right. Now I was old enough to be like, I was old enough in the early '90s when that wave of funky hardcore was really big, right? And not just hardcore, like funky alternative. And you mentioned Simon also like Living Color earlier, and then like Red Hot Chili Peppers, not necessarily hardcore music anymore, but like funky alternative. That was like in a few years, that was a lot, and it kind of, in a way, paved the way maybe even for stuff like new metal to come after and all that kind of good stuff. I'm not sure that you guys were old enough when that was happening. So where did those influences come from? Like, how did you discover, or what made you want to explore those sounds, mixing, that funky bass-driven sound with hardcore riffs and so on?
The knee injury of our guitarist. I make it short. We knew each other since we were like 3-4 years old, and our guitarist had a knee injury when he was like, I think 16 or 17. And
much older.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah,
it was older. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, even older, I guess, but maybe somewhere in the early 20s. Yeah.
Time flies, but at this time he was like 6 months on the couch, and we were living in this flat. Also, like we were every day there, and we did nothing except for smoking weed and hearing new music and discovering music. And like, I think that was a time when we discovered music in a different way. Not just this sounds good. Like the songwriting, visual stuff, how they do it, how do they like combine different genres and stuff. That was a thing. I think that was a big milestone for the Sound of Slope.
Hardcore should be a rebellious movement, and you should be doing whatever the fuck you want to do. But then at the same time, there are a few genres that have so many like rules about it, or that bands put on themselves and want to fit to a certain stereotype. Because it's not, let's be honest, it's not easy in a scene like hardcore scene to all of a sudden wear a pink t-shirt or a yellow t-shirt and to just say we want to do something different. How has that been for you guys as you were exploring that? Like, how did the scene react to that?
So first of all, as we all come really from the hardcore underground scene in Germany or in mainland Europe, we really grew up in the scene when we were 15 we started to go on shows, really tough, hard shows with a lot of moshing, with a lot of punching, injuries, and it was like the culture of being how to say it, a tough guy, you know. And of course we were 16, and to be honest, we loved it.
Of course,
we loved to punch, and we loved to get punched. So it was a very nice time, and it was really the moment where we as people started to dig hardcore music.
Yeah, we were hooked since the second show.
Yeah,
I think the second show was one of the hardest shows we ever had. I think it was Kickback Ambush Raid, the Platoon, the Ice. It was like the first three bands, smaller bands from our area, but it was so brutal. It was a room, 50 square meters, 50 people in it, and everybody just wanted to go crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess then, so then we start with the first EP, and it was already a little bit colorful, but the second one, Losing Grip, then we started and we did the first video, and you know, we had this song Goodbye Mr. Danny, and you have there like some flowers in it. You see some sunflowers, you have a garden and green meadow, and it looks like already this 90s vibe. It was really colorful, and I remember that there was a guy, a good friend of us, telling us, you really want to do it, it's too colorful, you know, it's not hardcore fitting. And we were like, yeah, maybe it's true, but we don't care. We will do it because we like this look, and we will just do it, and we don't care. And to be honest, at least in the underground hardcore scene, people reacted really cool to it. They say, it's cool, something fresh, it looks cool. And then we continued it, and right now we are a little bit coming out of this underground hardcore scene in Germany or Europe, and coming to some broader audience. And now we are feeling this gatekeeper stuff, you know. People come and say, oh, this is not hardcore, oh, this is too funky, oh, this is too whatever, calling themselves the rebellion hardcore. But this gatekeeping its own scene. So definitely I think it's exactly what you said, Jasper, that people are saying they are open-minded, but in the end they are not. When it comes to their scene.
Most of the time our lyrics are very like serious and not like
rainbows, lollipops, and sunshine. Yeah, exactly.
If people keep it, but the music makes it sound sometimes more happy, more colorful than the lyrics are. So if you don't like really dive into it, I think you can get it wrong, definitely.
Yeah. So I actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's exactly where I wanted to go next. Is you bring up a really good point. Like, the lyrics is not always as, you know, like I said, rainbows, lollipops, and sunshine as the music can be or can feel, or the videos and stuff like that. Although there's a lot of, you know, layered meaning in videos as well. So is that then? Do you then sometimes feel? What's the best way of saying this? Like, do you ever feel like? Does it ever feel weird when you're like, oh, you got this super groovy, funky, you know, almost like a summer vibe, but we're dealing with some really dark shit? Like, that's a really interesting balance. Like, is it weird to just see people at a show having like fun and like, you know, dancing around, and then you go like, if you actually listen to what we're saying, you might not be having a smile on your face. Like what's that like for you guys? Because, you know, you see bands like, I'll make a ridiculous exaggeration. Take a band like Steel Panther, right?
Yeah.
Steel Panther, with the image they've created, they cannot write a song that seriously talks about politics because people won't take it seriously, right?
Yeah.
They can put meaning in double entendres and so if you go look for it, you find serious commentary in their songs, even in Steel Panther songs. But they can't write a Rage Against the Machine song all of a sudden because it just wouldn't be okay with the brand anymore. Is that something that you guys talk about now that you've established this brand of Slope?
No, I think it's like you get something back, even if it's on shows or behind shows, like people coming to us and saying, I think that this is something, especially for Simon and me, like, yo, I feel what you say there, or you helped me through some dark shit or something like everybody of us can mention to some lyrics from some band. I never had a feel. It's an interesting like example that you create in my mind, that some people like dancing and having fun, like when you talk about some deep shit, but I'll never get it like in a bad way.
So I guess so one maybe to answer the question, if there was a thought behind this first concept of Slope, is that we never have concepts, so we really just starting things and doing things, and when we started, the sound was just hardcore sound,
right.
And there was hardcore lyrics on it, which are always personal, and they have some society and political issues. And since Fabio and me, we never like to write something, funny maybe, or we are not
it's
good
like
in
harder to write something when you're feeling pretty good and pretty great. I always like in a funny way, not like take it so serious. The best time to write songs is like when you have a heartbreak or a very bad time.
You have to. It has to be a catharsis. You have to channel negativity in a way. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess we are still fucked up from specific topics, and we want to tell people maybe or just say what we are thinking in these songs, and that's why we still have the same topics we already had on Losing Grip and Helix, but the sound is evolving and getting more vibey and more funky. But I think it's I like it, and I never thought about that, what you said, that people are dancing. But the good thing in hardcore is that people always, or in a lot of songs, they know the lyrics and sing with you together, therefore having fun while singing some stuff which with some meaning or whatever.
If you guys keep us on our toes, there's lots of twists and turns. This is an album full of surprises, but the biggest surprise probably comes all the way at the end of the album, of the final song, which is more Biohazard than Living Color. It's the heaviest song on the album by far. Because it's at the very end, some bands sometimes tease what's coming in the future. Should we see more heavy shit like that going forward for the band?
I could say something now. I hope Simon is okay with it. Like, this is one of the first songs we did on this album. This song was like created way before we started the other songs.
I wouldn't say that we will go. So what I said, we actually don't know how the next album will sound. We are just writing the songs, and then it will process, and maybe we will be harder on the next album, but maybe not. But I wouldn't say that it was some intention.
Intended.
No.
So let's talk about the upcoming tour that you've got. You've got some German shows, you've got some Dutch shows. Those people will definitely love any references you make to Urban Dance Squad, because they were a Dutch band, obviously, in the 90s. But there's going to be a busy year for you guys. You're going to have to do a lot of promotion. You already mentioned, I think it was Simon, I think it was you who said that, with this release, you know, a bigger audience is getting to know you, and you can tell that there's already more buzz around this album, and you know, Century Media obviously is helping you with spreading that message. But this is far from your first release. You've got a good catalog. What should we expect for these first immediate shows? Like, I assume there's going to be a lot of new material that's going to be played, but except from being very sweaty and very tired at the end of the show, what should we expect?
And I think we like put a good balance in the set. Like as you said, we play a lot of new songs, but we also got like something I don't want to take the surprise, but we have something on this show that we never had before.
Okay.
Like all around the show. I think even for us, it's the first in like 10 years or 10. If you say 10 years from the first EP out, but Slope is going from 2012 or 2011. So it's the first headliner tour we ever had. So for us, it's like a big thing as for the crowd that's going on the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And we are very thankful that I think we're gonna have every German show sold out when we start the tour. Berlin is the last one. So we created something that I don't want to take the surprise.
No, of course, yeah. of course. You're gonna blow our minds, basically. And that by not giving away the surprise, the expectations are now super, super high. Fabio, you do realize. We've got these first run of shows. They're all in February. But 2024 is still a long time. We're gonna see more of you. So without spoiling anything that's not announced yet necessarily, but what should all the people watching this video, what should we keep our fingers crossed and our eyes open for?
So yeah, there will be definitely a lot of festivals around Europe. So we will go to countries we never been. So that's really cool for us, and hopefully some people will experience Slope on a show or on a festival. And we are also planning some stuff later the year, but right now there are no fixed plans, but there will be definitely something to keep the eye on.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe some shows on an island, maybe not.
All right, awesome. Well, guys, specifically for the summer festivals, I think it's going to be super exciting because, let's be honest, what's the best time and place to hear some funky music is when you're holding a beer on a sunny afternoon, surrounded by a bunch of sweaty dudes and girls. That's going to be great. So, Simon and Fabio, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I wish you guys all the best in this stressful time, but hopefully, the stress in the best possible way, with you guys getting lots of pre-orders that you have to fill, lots of merch sales that you have to fulfill, and sold out shows in Germany and Netherlands. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait for everybody to discover this very fun and surprising record.
Cool. Thank you very much, Jasper. It was a very nice interview.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.